I'm just checking. And we are live. We are live. Hi, Anne. It's so exciting to have you in here today for this interview. Not just an interview, it really is more of a storytelling platform, right? I'm guiding you to answer some of the questions that I'm curious about, but feel free to take it whichever way you would like to as well, because we really want it to be your story. So, Anne, do you want to just tell everybody who you are and where you're calling in from today? Because we have a global audience here.
Awesome. My name is Ann Klossing, and it has taken me a while to accept the fact that I am a channeler and to say that with a degree of confidence. And that's a learning thing for me. But I'm also a #1 international best-selling author. Thank you, Kate Butler, for Women Who Shine. I started my journey with Jack Canfield back in 2020 with Reignite Your Life. And in that class, I had pronounced to the universe that I would have my first book published by July 1st, 2021. And I thought it was my book. No, it was Women Who Shine. My book is yet to be birthed. So it's keeping yourself open to following your passion and your purpose. And through that journey with Jack is where I discovered my gift of automatic writing. I was dabbling with it in my private life, and that was through my journey of pain and recovering out of clinical depression and realizing that I am the common denominator of all those experiences and that I can change it. So it's really
Wow.
been a growth phase for me, and I'm still growing and learning. And that platform gave me my channel clearing platform, which in a mastermind with Jack Canfield. So the last 4 years I have invested heavily in myself through Jack Canfield's programs, investing in a book with Kate Butler, attending Jack and Patty's mastermind in person. That was fantabulous. It was phenomenal. Still gives me chills. And then spending a year with Mary Morrissey and her brave thinking. So I ended up quitting my job. And I will tell anyone, do not quit your job until you have some income coming in. So that's been another paradigm that I'm working on, is the financing and truly believing that my gifts have value and that they're there in service. And when I accept that, the clients will come through my door.
Wow.
And I'm
Okay.
beginning to experience that. So it's me getting out of my own way and becoming very impersonal and watching the show and say, oh, look at her go.
Yeah. And we have this story in our own mind of what our journey looked like. But from the outside in, other people are looking at us and going, how is she doing that? And I want to do that too. So we're always being this way shower. But first for ourselves as we really go through some of these things. So I want to back up a lot because there was like, wow,
Yep.
a lot in that sentence, in that paragraph. Where are you calling in from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that. I am calling in from my partner's farmhouse, who is a dairy farmer in Southwest Wisconsin, and I adore him. I cherish him. Cherish
Wow.
him. Then
So
I also
we
have, so
had that
sometimes
in
you may
common
see
as,
me,
sorry.
yeah, you may see me calling from my property, which is a half an hour downstream on the Mississippi, on a bluff property that will eventually be my hub. It's going to be my business where I host retreats and do all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay, I'm like,
Da,
oh,
da,
magic is
da.
being created here as we speak. So I love that. We have that in common, that the love of the land and the farming and the whole, like there is nurturing and there
Mhm.
is healing in the right properties. So when you talk about hosting retreats, I'm like, please add me to your list. I want to come and co-host with you or facilitate. And those of us that own land, I've been thinking about this a lot lately as I see other people go. My dream is to own a piece of property where I can do this. And I'm like, I have property all over the place. So that is a gift that my ancestors have given me, and I maybe need to utilize that and leverage that a little bit more because there's other people that might not have that resource. So there's more in the works with that as well.
Yeah.
But Anne, you talked about coming to a place where you had to like step out into the light and admit some of your gifts or your abilities, and you called it channeling. So for those that don't understand what that term even means, can you take us back and understand what is it, and then what was the journey in order to actually speak it out loud?
So let's take it to a fundamental level, which is everyone can channel. When you are quiet, and especially when you are doing something that you absolutely love doing, and time is irrelevant, and you've skipped breakfast, you skipped lunch, you've been so into it, whatever that is, you are channeling. You are the channel of the expression of the creator energy. Now, we've talked about this within our group of 10. When I say creator, when I say God or higher source, I am talking about like it's just a ginormous, it's nothing, but it's one mind and so loving and so powerful. And it is all of that source that comes right down to every person and everything and every rock and every blade of grass. And it is all. And it is just, oh, I just got chills with that. And that is channeling. When the grass grows, it is channeling the energy and growing and providing sustenance, and it's serving others, the cattle, the sheep, the horses, the whatever. You know, you're a channel, and whatever is inside you wants to be visible.
Mm.
That's powerful.
Mm. It's so
So for
powerful.
me, way back when, I lived my life from default. Now I can drag my religious background into it, and it was a lot of dogma. Going to church scared the hell out of me because that God was going to punish me, and I'm a sinner, and I'm always going to be a sinner. And the only way that I can have redemption is to know this dude, Jesus. What is this all about? And it was thrown at me. And when you get a fire and brimstone type of service as a child, was very impressionable and scared me. And it didn't feel right. So I've always been, and people, and I don't want you to get me wrong, because if you use religion in whatever format it is in, and you bring joy to yourself, by all means do that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in a place of not joy, it didn't feel good to me.
Mm.
And that's where spirit comes through us and says, do what brings joy to you. When you are in joy, you're contagious. It's infectious because people want what you have, want what you have so bad,
It's
but they
so
don't know that
beautiful the way
that's,
you explained that because you actually talked in the first little bit about being in a deep depression.
yes.
So, depression and suppression, and not even having any ability to realize that you had the choice to create joy, to amplify joy, to ignite joy in yourself and in others. Can you take us through that journey a little bit of what it felt like in that state versus today?
There's so many of my life experiences that led up to the point.
Yeah.
So if you really want to find out that, then I would guide you to my chapter of Women Who Shine, because it really does, it puts it all. And that chapter was written in the shower. It was my third take, and it was 6,000 words, and I needed to have 2,500 words. And I was so disgusted. And I slammed my computer down and I said, you write it. Marched down to the shower, took a shower, and I'm just like burning off, get it out, get it out, get it out. And all of a sudden, boom, it was like fire. And in it came. So it was like a deck of cards. It's
Mm.
like I finally understood what my soul agreement is, which is another concept and another conversation. But it was like, you're here to stand up and shine, Ann. So when you were 3 or 4, in between that, I couldn't tell you how old I was fondled by my maternal grandfather. Packed that around for a lot of years. And then I never really, relationships were so foreign for me, and I craved love so bad. And I went in and out of that messiness of college. Did I have a lot of fun? Oh, heck yeah. But there was a lot of baggage I carried with that too. And then it's like you go on and you convince yourself, well, you're going to go to college now and you're going to do this. And we tell ourselves, the societal norms, and we begin to believe it. And we're not honoring the flame that is sitting quietly and burning inside of you and really, really wants to
Mm,
come out. At the
mm,
same time, I needed to go through all those experiences to really have the impact that I will have today.
mm,
So, fondled, in and out of relationships, married, miscarriage,
mm,
marriage that is falling apart. I was in a deep depression. I did something really dumb and I had an affair.
mm,
But it was the catapult for me to understand that my relationship was truly over and that it was time for me to step away from a lot of stuff and kind
mm,
of get my act together. But I love to be in relationships, absolutely adore. I did. Every partner I had, I adored. But then it
mhm,
was like I gave too much of myself. I didn't honor
mm,
myself. I didn't set the boundaries. So I had divorce number one. And then I remarried. And then all of a sudden I was very honest with that individual, told him about the affair. Because when you think something's not visible, you're only fooling yourself. It is. Somebody knows about it somewhere. So I came forth with him.
mm,
And then the narcissistic side of him would bring that out throughout that
mm,
marriage, and the compounded guilt and all of that he had nothing to do with. And
mhm,
I remained true to him, and he accused me of that same thing. And it
mm,
devastated me, and it drove me down to a point where I wanted to kill myself. And
mm,
it was in that pasture where I sat because we got into an argument. We'd come back from counseling and it was the same thing over and over and over again. Would not move past it, refused to move past it, refused to forgive me for something I didn't even do.
mhm.
And something that I did that didn't even involve him. So it was very devastating. And as I sat in that pasture, it was serious. And I was on antidepressants. Anytime I was on an antidepressant, so this was my second clinical depression, second one, it was, I just, those thoughts of suicide were not there when I was not on an antidepressant.
When you were not on them, they were not there.
Correct. Was I dismal and in despair? Absolutely. But I did not think about killing myself
Wow.
until I was on them. So I am very antidepressant. I am not against them for someone to help them level off for a certain point of time, but then get off them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even advise anyone going to that today. I would advise them, what got me off them was acupuncture and all the mindset tools. I
Perfect.
firmly believe clinical depressions do not need to be managed with.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in my life that believe the same thing, from psychologists to whatever. And so we're here to bring these stories out, and we're not here to offer medical advice. So this is
Correct.
this is correct. This is life experiences. Now, you took us down that road of what, like, that was horrible. And I'm so sorry that you went through that. But looking back, you can so easily see that it had to happen for you to fully step in and embrace that you are the change maker, that you are here to share a story, and all the money that you've invested in these mentors and these people have helped you not only realize and step into a new identity, but also help you write it, express it, which you circle back at the beginning of time. You loved to journal and automatic write. You knew you had an expression in you. So can you help us understand a little bit of what it was, the extraordinary move or the extraordinary decision to actually invest in yourself because you knew that this was the time?
It was the feeling of knowing that I could not turn back. So as I sat in that pasture contemplating ways offing myself through my vibration of being totally distraught, totally disempowered. I attracted through the law of attraction, and my energy attracted a pack of coyotes coming at me. Coyotes are normally timid, but there's a woman sitting in the field with her head in her hands, blubbering. And I saw this alpha male. And I looked up, and through the tears and the runny nose and everything, it's this coyote was taking one slow predatory step at a time. And I was like, oh my. And then I could see the other, I see the pack coming in off the wood line, the tree line. And then it was like, I heard it. That was the voice. Do you want this? Do you want this? And in a flash of a second, it was like, no. Meanwhile, the coyote takes another step. And for anyone who knows distance, a lot of times men talk in yards. Anybody who has rifles, things like that, talk in yards. This was 20 feet, not 20 yards. So I was that quiet and that distraught. And the voice said, is this what you want? I was like, no, because all what was flashing through my head were my daughter, my family, the mess, the whole 9 yards. And it was like, I don't want to do that to my family. So the answer was no. So it was, what do I do? And the answer came back as bark. Well, through the congestion, I couldn't get bark out. It was like, I can laugh about it now. And then I heard stand up, and I stand up and I started growling, and it still was kind of hesitant. So then I just ran at it, and then they all scattered. But that was that pivotal moment that I realized that I was the common denominator to all of those experiences. And then throw in my dad's death ahead of this. My dad had died in 2010. And there's a gift in transition too. And I was not able to see that until I wrote that chapter for Women Who Shine. It was a beautiful gift. Upon his death, on a soul to soul level, he could see my energetic veil that I had clung and just wrapped myself in fear.
Mm.
And in a moment of death, he took it. He grabbed that to where I could see. So the clarity became every day. I became clearer and clearer and clearer. And it was like things aren't what they are supposed to be. I mean, my dad's death pulled the rug right out from my feet. But at the same time, it shook me in such a way. And that's, I've talked about in our post, I've talked about a soul quake. And what a soul quake is, and this is how spirit has shown me, is when the personality, our ego, this hair and body that we live in, becomes the main bus driver, becomes the main character, then when you're ready, the soul is going to say, it's time to wake up. It is time for you to see me and realize that I love you unconditionally. And it is now time. I'm still going to let you drive, but you're going to listen to me. You can still drive the bus, but we're going to get back on course here. But it's like a rocket ship, so when those rockets take off, they're designed in a facet that it can break through those atmospheric barriers. All the dark night of the soul is kundalini energy, unwinding of that, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Your great aha moment. Your soul is going to rattle you and shake you, and needs to, so that you can break through those paradigms. And the nice thing about it is your soul is protecting you. It is breaking the paradigms for you. All you have to do is be visible and pay attention. Pay attention. Start listening.
Wow.
Align action.
Okay. Pay attention, start listening. And as you're being invited to trust in spirit more, there is growth, there is opportunities, there is almost even step backs, because it's like that trust brings up fear. So you help us as we start to wind this down How are some of the ways in which you help your clients today do those things you just said to do?
When you're in it, like I was in it, I needed somebody. And that was my Reiki master. I
Mhm.
needed someone to help me do a deep dive so that I could see it. That's what channel clearing
Mm,
is you, if you're thinking Ann's my person, then you've taken the call. You've heard it. You've
mm,
heard that inner voice say, get help.
mm.
Because when you're in it, you're like this. You got one-eyed vision. And what I do is I take that deep dive with your soul. I do that automatic writing ahead of our meeting with your soul, that beautiful soul that will come back and high five you and tell you how beautiful you are and how loved you are. And then it's going to say, okay, now you're ready. Here it is. You're it, whatever it is. It's always emotion that you have packed down over time. I did it. We're human. Social norms teach us how to do that. Being a woman, how many times are we told? Won't go on anymore there. So it's here it is. Now we're going to heal it. So sometimes we do dig into past lives. Sometimes it's present day issues. Maybe you're stuck in grief and it's
Mm,
so thick that you just can't let go of it. You think you're not ready to let go of it, but it's time. And
mm.
then after that, your soul comes out with a prescription for you. And I used your words and I keep using them because I love it. It is a prescription, just like physical therapy, of the aligned action items that you need to do.
Yes.
And when you don't do the work and you come back to me and you tell me that you don't do the work, I'm going to send you right back to that original reading. There's no point in wasting your time and your money and my time because your soul's going to take it right back down around. Now, if you come to me and say, I didn't do the work, but I'd like some accountability, that's different. That tells
Yeah.
me you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. That you're peeking in. And
Yeah,
so if somebody is hearing this and it's like, oh my goodness, all of this is new, like I need to watch this 5 or 6 times just to understand what I actually heard here. So that's the peek in and the start of awareness.
right.
If they're in that stage, how would they, when you say, are you ready? How would they know if they're ready? What should they do? Should they contact you? What's going on?
Yes. So I just took a course with Patty Aubrey. It's her audience builder blueprint. And out of all of this, we got really clear on offering that open the door.
Yeah.
So if you really want to test the waters with me, I have a beautiful, it's called an angel reading program. It's only $47. It's 30 minutes. You and I get to know each other. And what it does is it connects you with your inner being, your soul, and your guardian angel. And I give you the name of your guardian angel. I give you the color and the color of your soul. Then we go through a guided meditation, which puts you in your mind's eye and in your heart in this beautiful sacred geometry that you can use over and over and over again. You can record
Wow.
that session, you can re-listen to that meditation, but I also give you the written format that I encourage everyone to do, to
Mhm.
take it, tailor it to your needs, and then put it on an app, record it in your own voice, because there's only one you. When you talk, that is your soul. That is the vibration of your soul. And they know who you are. And I
Mm,
say
I
they,
have
the
loved
universe.
this entire conversation, and we're going to have you back inside of the group. You are one of the co-creators, so as the co-creators, we actually get a little bit more extra time to share our gifts and to shine within the community. So we're going to have you back. So anybody that's watching this, please comment, yes, we want more of Ann, because that will get us to know how quickly we need to do this. But you have a lot of modalities behind you. And I believe that each one of these modalities is like this ability or this gift that you had. And then you had to like go get the certification or the help in order to fine tune it to offer it to your clients. Is that true?
It's a lot of, do I have a certificate for my my wall? The only thing I have are my Canfield certificates, my Mary
Yeah.
Morrissey. Excuse me, I am a Reiki practitioner. That does get brought into certain with the meditations and things, but that's not what I hang my shingle on.
Yeah.
My learning has come from the angels and
Yeah.
tapping in and sitting and getting deep, and that's where it goes. So as far as quickly, my modalities is dip your toe in the water with the angel reading. You want to take it deeper, we'll do a 1 hour one-on-one with the channel clearing session. You want the accountability, sign up for a 2-week mentorship. You're looking at life transformation. Oh, I've been through this, this, and this, and this, but I really know what I want to do when I'm 60 or I'm 70 or I'm 80 or I'm 30 or I'm 20 or whatever it is for you. Now that's an intensive. We're going to go and dive deep with the 4 life quads. And then what I'm building out is the retreats and a legacy. I want to hold one-on-one legacy mentorship in my home where you sit in this medicine wheel that I've built. We're going to go journey together.
Wow. Wow. I love your vision. I want to be a part of it in all sorts of ways. What, as you leave this call today, what is a message that you have for women, whether they're in here because they knew this was the place to be, or they're coming in 10 years because they're going, I need to know what this is about?
Happening.
Yeah.
Oneness. When you realize the oneness within you holds the power, holds the truth to your being and your beingness. And if you were where Anne is at in her 20s, 30s, 40s, then it's being visible within the self, being visible to expose the soul, to recognize it, see it, walk in its truth, and know that there is nothing but love around you and the oneness and the center and the wholeness of that. And as you grow and you mature as a beautiful woman and move into your what's next, returning to center, returning to the oneness that is within you, and you are divinely guided and you are divinely loved. And we so look forward to joining you on your journey. Namaste.
Wow. And thank you for
They
everybody
just,
that
they
didn't
wanted to come
know.
in.
For everybody that didn't know what just happened here, instead of me asking just Anne, and that's not in an ego, that's just Anne, her angels and guides came in and she literally channeled for you. So that message, when she talked about these divine downloads that she gets, there was a divine light that wanted to speak through her for all of us. And I had full body chills as I witnessed that in person and could really feel the desire for all of us to shine our light brighter. And that is first being visible to you. So I invite everybody to take Anne's angel reading course, because that in itself is so valuable. Like wowzers.
And on my personal, say yes. When you begin to say yes to yourself, it just get used to saying yes, but also discern what a no is. And when you say no, mean it. Define the two, discern between the two. And I've said no quite frequently. But when I do say yes, and I know it's coming from my heart, then I know it's a hell yes. It's a heck yeah. And
And
just
once you understand the
looking,
difference between how that feels in your body, it is no longer up here in your logical brain trying to figure it out in overwhelm, frustration, confusion. You literally know when you ask the question of yourself. And that is the most empowering skill set you can ever build.
that's what I teach. I teach you to move this space to this space
Mm,
and learn how to listen to that. And I still get caught up in my head. I mean, that's it. We're human and we will do that.
we will do that. And that's why we need to hang around other people that recognize that in us. Because sometimes, like you said, when you're in it, you can't see like I say, blinders on, where it's like, I'm praying for the answer, but where is it? And it's like, oh, let's take the veil away. It's right there. All that I need is right there in front of me.
Mhm.
And this has been absolutely fascinating. I can't wait to have you back on. Thank you so much for joining us in short notice. And yeah, just so much, so many blessings.
I couldn't hold them back. They were coming
Why would you?
in. Okay.
Why would you? Okay. Thanks, Anne. Bye bye.
Bye.